The first systematic exploration of memory is credited to Hermann Ebbinghaus, a German psychologist. He found out that we do not forget the learned material at an even pace or completely. Initially, the rate of forgetting is faster, but it eventually stabilizes. Frederick Wallet he contended that the memory is not passive but an active process. With the help of meaningful verbal materials such as stories and text, he demonstrated that memory is a constructive process. That is, what we memorize and store undergoes many changes and modifications over time. So, there is a qualitative difference in what was initially memorized by us and what we retrieve or recall later. Memories of past events and experiences are actually mental reconstructions that are colored by cultural attitudes and personal habits rather than being direct recollections of observations made at the time. In experiments, Bartlett showed that very little of an event is actually pursued at the time of the occurrence, but that in reconstructing the memory, gaps in observation or perception that are filled in with the aid of previous experiences. Why are multiple choice items easier than essay type items? Because to recall we need few or no external cues. To recognize we have already more cues, and because of the tip of the term phenomena. Priming. Schemas, a mental framework, an organized pattern of thought about some aspect of the world. Flashbulb memory, vivid details surrounding an emotional event. Memories created during times of personal tragedies or accidents or other emotionally significant events. They include both the positive and negative events. They are not always accurate, but great confidence is placed in them even though they may be inaccurate. Mood dependency memory. Our enhanced ability when we are in a good mood to remember what we previously learned in the same mood. If we learned information in positive mood, it will be easily recalled in positive mood. Same for negative mood. When we are in good mood, positive information is noticed and retained, and when we are in bad mood, negative information is noticed and retained. False memory and memory construction. Bartlett experiment. He found out that over time, retelling of the story becomes more inaccurate. This is because reproductive memory is accurate, but reconstructive memory, the act of filling in missing items. Participants with eyewitness testimony. Research on eyewitness information can be potent source of distortion. Interviewer questions can contain cues that influence retrieval. Construction theory of forgetting. Reconstruction theory of forgetting. People remember something that did not occur because it seemed consistent with the event. Pursued expertise of interviewer may bias informational response. Eyewitness testimony frequently inaccurate, especially children, adolescents, and particularly suggestible when interviewed by adults. Sometimes they describe what never happened. Hence, neutral questions get best results. Eyewitness who look but do not see. Some things processed in shallow ways due to inattentiveness or lack of importance attached. Alport, memories distorted by prejudices. Research in US. Common African American names more stereotyped with criminally when memories fit personal schemas of prejudice. Inaccurate call due to characteristic of the eyewitness, that is being tired, upset, intoxicated, may affect recall. Drunk eyewitness, visual recall may be accurate in some circumstances. So why do we forget? Due to decay, replacement, interference, cue dependent forgetting, and psychogenic amnesia. Decay, the theory that information in memory eventually disappears if it is not accessed, it applies more to short term memory than long term memory. Remembering over years, retention fell at a gradual rate but a steady rate. Interference. The retroactive interference is forgetting that occurs when recently learned material interferes with the ability to remember similar material stored previously. Proactive interference. Forgetting that occurs when previously stored material interferes with the ability to remember similar, more recently learned material. Cue dependent forgetting. The inability to retrieve information stored in memory because of insufficient cues for recall. State dependent memory, the tendency to remember something when the rememberer is in the same physical or mental state as during the original learning or experience. Psychogenic amnesia, the partial or complete loss of memory due to non organic causes for threatening information or traumatic experiences. Childhood amnesia, the missing years. Childhood amnesia is the inability to remember the events and experiences that occur during the first 2 or 3 years of life. Cognitive explanations are the lack of sense of self, impoverished encoding, a focus on the routine and the different ways of thinking about the world.